All right, welcome back, y'all. Podcast number 7. We took last week off because we had to run from a hurricane
That
and
was
head
something
down to
else.
Fort Lauderdale from Tampa. So we're back in Tampa right now, and we're coming to you live. And in this episode of Trying Something New, we're going to be talking about what we love and hate about RV life, because there's a lot to love and a little bit to hate.
And so it's been over 9 years, and we get tons of questions like asking, are we ready to kill each other in here because it's such a small space, or just whatever it is. And so we figure, you know what? We're going to answer it all today.
All right, you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end, because we're going to tell you all about our hurricane experience and what it took to get the heck out of Dodge. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is let's dive into what we love about this RV life, because there is a lot to love.
All right, so I know for me, the absolute freedom and flexibility of life has taken me by storm, because I could never imagine living in a house again, because I would just feel stuck. I would feel strangled. I would just feel stagnant. I think RV life just lends that self where you can always move, go experience new things, be in completely different environments, different climates, and have your home with you.
I know me personally, and I know Standies feels the same way about this, but we get bored very, very easily.
Yeah.
And once things, I heard a funny quote. One of our fellow travelers said, once I know how to get to Walmart and get to the post office without GPS, it's time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
if you get too familiar.
Yeah. I remember when we were in the Sticks and Bricks, and I was working at the Hard Rock, and I worked there for 10 years, and I did the math one day, and I drove there over 3,000 times. And by about the 2,000th time, I don't remember driving to work. So
Autopilot,
you go on autopilot, you get somewhere, you go, I don't even know how I got here. What did I go through the stoplight?
That's really scary, actually, if you think about that.
And so that's like the analogy for life. Like, I don't know how I got here. I'm just here, right? Did I run the stoplights? Did I stop? Did I go? I don't. It just, when you drive somewhere, you don't know how you got there. That's pretty crazy. So
it's time to move.
Yeah, I feel like us always being a new location and a new experience, we're always turned on, we're always heightened, and we're always like, whoa, this is like
it's exciting,
different, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why we thrive on international travel as well, because that's like heightened experiences to the 10th degree. So
international travel is my favorite.
So the first thing that we love about RV life is the constant state of travel, the ability to move, and always experiencing new things. All right, Sandy, let's talk about the next thing. How do you afford this full-time travel lifestyle? It's got to be so expensive, isn't it?
Actually, I think this is the cheapest way to live is an RV. Okay, first off, you don't have utilities because the utilities are included in your RV spot. So right there, you're saving on water, trash, electricity,
sewer,
gas, all of the different things. There's so many utilities. And, when we were living in a house, it was $500 to $700-800 in utilities that now just we have in our pocket because it's included. So, and depending on what type of RV that you get, our first RV was $19,000. We paid cash for it. So therefore we had no mortgage payment. That was instantly in our pockets. And so of course you have to pay for RV spots, but you can have memberships like the Thousand Trails membership, where you could either pay it in full. It's $5,000 to $13,000. And that literally gives you free RV spots
forever.
Like, yeah, depending on where you are, maybe it's $20 a night.
Or if you finance the package, you can get it for $300 to $400.
A couple $100 a month. Yeah. And so with that, you have instantly knocked down your expenses to basically food, insurance, experiences, and you save a ton of money. Now, of course, just like when you live in a house, there's different levels. If you want a bougie level, then you have a $500,000, $1 million RV. Your payment's higher. Things are going to be higher. But for us, we're low key, we're cool. And so our first RV we had for 8 years. So picture that, $19,000 gave us a home for 8 years. That's insane. That is not going to happen if you live in a house, an apartment. And especially with the cost of living now, I saw like $2,000 for an apartment is insane.
Well, the median house price is like $500,000 to $700,000. Like,
and
what?
so the cost
That's like
of
crazy.
living, and so now that's just for your housing. Then you have the utilities on top of it and whatever else. And then if things break and all that. So when things break in an RV, it's actually very minimal because, there's...
That might be one thing we hate, so save that one for later.
Yeah, but overall, compared to a house, everything is way cheaper.
All right, so let's talk about, like, as we move, we have the ability to be in places that we want to be in, and we kind of chase 85-degree weather. Right now
Heck
it might be about 90, which is, a little warm during the day. But we love being outside. We love having the doors open. We love going on walks all the time. We love just... We chase 75 to 85 degree weather year round. So that's another thing that we love is the ability to always chase nice weather and go with the flow.
When you can take your home anywhere you want in the United States, it really opens up the possibilities of being anywhere you want. So for us, we spent a year down in the Florida Keys, and I have to say that was an amazing time, being surrounded by water, being able to go paddleboarding every day if you want, going on boats. Like, you're literally, even we were just riding our bikes around the RV park. You're just looking at the water. You're seeing dolphins. That is just our cup of tea. We absolutely love it. So we stayed there for a year. Or if you want, if you're like a mountainy kind of person, go to Montana, go wherever, and you can experience that as well. So, and I think the best part of all, especially when you have kids, is you have your home with you. So you have all of your essentials. You have everything. You have literally a home on wheels. And so you have your full kitchen. You have all of your own comfortable beds. You have all your clothes, all your toiletries, all the stuff that you want. Because I know when we traveled international, that was sort of
it gets kind of
hard part, because
load up, unpack, load up,
you're
unpack.
not bringing everything with you at all. And so I think with the RV, you really have the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Well, let's transition into the next thing that I absolutely love, and that's like the minimalistic lifestyle.
Yep.
I don't really consider myself a minimalist, but we have limited space, so we have limited things.
You have to be minimal.
So I guess we are by default minimalists.
Yes.
And once you get used to like being a minimalist, like the thought of having a bunch of stuff for no absolute reason is just like, I don't need it.
We have a running joke in our family, and even the kids do it, is I love trays, like serving trays. Even if I don't necessarily use them, I like to have it in case I want to. And so the kids will always be like,
trays out of here.
Mom, look at this tray. We should get it. Daddy'll hate it.
Well, we have a cabinet with 6 trays in it. And I'm like, we only use them every 4 months and we don't need 6 of them. It was funny. Sandy's birthday just passed and we were at the dollar store and the kids were like, let's get a tray for her birthday. That'd be funny.
Oh, that's too cute. Yeah. I would love to go to Home Goods. Or is it Home Goods? That has, whatever that store is that has really cute stuff. I would love to go there and just like, oh, let's get this and this. But the reality is you can't, because you don't have space for it. There's no wall space. No. There's only so many pillows. There's only so much decor that you can put out. And so that literally saves me a lot of money. I don't even go there anymore.
Even during the holidays, like Christmas, if we're going to bring in 20 presents for Christmas, like some stuff's got to go because there's just absolutely no room for it. Every inch of the RV is taken up at this point. And so if you want to put more stuff in, stuff's got to go. So we always have this revolving door of stuff coming in and stuff going out.
Although the door of the stuff going out becomes harder and harder because the kids are like, I don't want to get rid of that.
So when they go to sleep, I become the chopper.
Yeah.
Chop it, get it out of here.
Oh, I got a funny story about that. When we were moving from our old RV to the new RV, we were in this RV park, and literally the RVs were parked next to each other. We could not, the Class A had way more storage in the underbelly. And so we had so much stuff, so many toys, multiple Christmases worth of toys were in those bins.
Of toys.
And as the kids were out playing, Jimmy's emptying all the bins and sort of tossing a lot of it into the dumpster. And the kids did not know, but the dog park was right next to the dumpster. And so the kids were bringing the dog to the dog park and seeing a bunch of their stuff in the dumpster and going, why did you throw my stuff out? Stuff, now granted, they haven't seen in 3 years.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that? You guys knew that? Come on.
So
maybe you guys go outside and play during the podcast.
Had some upset kids coming back to us, and I go, "It's not me. That's your dad. I had no part in that." And that was pretty funny.
You know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. You can't keep everything forever.
Yes, especially when it's been in a bin for a long time and the kids forgot it was even there.
All right. I know one of the things that I really love is the strong family bond that we have together. And it's subconscious and it's never anything that we really knew that was going to happen, but it just kind of naturally, organically happened.
Well, when you live in 300 to 400 square feet of living space, it's tight quarters.
It's tight, but it creates a connection between everybody. A funny story. When COVID hit, we rented a house because we didn't want to be in the RV during the winter and yada, yada. So we were in a house for like 4 months, 5 months, and the kids each had their own bedroom. And we were coming out to live in the RV for, let's say, 4 years, 5 years. And we did one night where we did a sleepover in our bedroom, right? And so we brought everybody's mattresses into our bedroom. So there's our mattress and 3 other mattresses in there. And once the kids were in our space and in our bedroom, they never left. So it was about 2.5 months that were left on our lease that we all slept in the same bedroom. And
it's funny because it was a 4-bedroom, so each kid had their own room. Because, that's part of the RV life, right? Oh, are the kids missing out on anything? And so we knew that we had just gotten back from Bali. And we're like, all right, we're not going to go into the RV. We hate the cold. It's so cold in the RV. So we're just going to rent a house. And that was also creating our first course. So we figured we'll build a set in there. So we figured, let's get a 4-bedroom. So each kid had their own room, and we'll see if they feel like they're missing anything. And that was the funniest part, was they literally did not want to put their mattresses back in their room. And we were like, guys, you have your own room now. Like, do you miss it? Like, we want to give you this opportunity. And they could care less.
And I think one of the reasons why we actually got out of that house is we went back to our RV in storage, and we sat in there on like rainy days or like the height of COVID. You can't do anything. So we just go sit in our RV and be like, man,
talk about the memories.
Remember we're just driving across country and we're all just sleeping on the couch and this and that and the other. And it was just like, holy crap, there's something to this small spaces. And we just thought it was us, but we've talked to other families since then, and they all have the same stories of similarity of we just feel better when we're all in the same. I'm getting goosebumps a little bit talking about that. Oh. But we all just feel connected. We feel like it's the way it's supposed to be, right?
Well, so now on the flip side, we are on social media, right? And so people see our living space and they make comments, these kids, this is child abuse. They need their own room. They need their own door. And I go, what is it with the door? Like that, we've gotten so many comments about they need their own door and privacy. And I asked the kids, I go, do you guys miss like being able to close a door and have your own privacy? And they're like, no. And so what I realize is, and I think this is a lot of society today, is kids go to school. They come home, they go in their room, they close the door, and that's where they stay for the rest of the day. And who knows what they're doing in there or whatever. I realize that's not the kind of relationship I want with my kids. I don't want my kids to go in their room and be gone for the rest of the day. I know that some of our family members, Jimmy's mom just went over to visit some family, and she said that's what the kids do. And it made me realize that makes sense as to why we get those comments, because that seems to be what's happening. And maybe I did that when I was younger. I went into my room, I didn't even think about it.
Get away, don't deal with anything.
Right? I realize clearly now that I love the way that we live life with our kids, because we are together all the time, and it's not a awkward experience in the house because they want to stay in their room and I'm like, hey, come out, talk to us. We're always together. We're always talking. We're always in the same room. And I think that in itself, like not planning on it, turned out to be amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing byproduct, unintentional, and it just works out.
Yeah.
So that was some things that we absolutely love about the RV. Let's get into some things that we hate about the RV.
Oh my
So we just talked
gosh.
about being tight in space is what we love, and being tight in space is what we hate. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But about having limited space, and everybody's like, how do you guys have privacy? Well, in this RV, we do have a door, so we have some privacy there. So when we get home from school, we go in our room and close the door.
So one thing about our old RV, which we improved with this RV, is I hated that we didn't have a room in our old RV. Absolutely hated it. We had nowhere. I mean, our clothes were in the room with the kids, and we never had space to put anything anywhere. Anything. And so now that I look at this room and I go, where did we put all of this stuff that's in this room now in the old RV?
How did
it was
we live
crazy.
before?
And so that's why I think a Class A is very difficult for families, because there's one bedroom. There's one. And then maybe you have the bunk beds. But say if you have more than 2 kids, where's the last kid go? Or where's the other kids go? And so we realized, I mean, we were in that RV for 8 years. So let's be real.
Yeah.
We were there for a long time.
Everybody listening in the viewers, a Class A is like a bus that you drive.
It's the drivable motorhome. Yeah.
So this is a fifth wheel. We tow it with a truck. And so we have more room. And that one's a Class A, so you drive it, and so you have a little bit less room, but somewhat.
So in this fifth wheel, we have 2 full bedrooms. And so we have the master on this end, which is where we're at right now. And on the other end, there is what's called the garage. It's a toy hauler fifth wheel. And so that turned into the kids' room, where there's 2 queen drop-down bunks and a loft. So 3 kids are sleeping there comfortably. which we could not do that in the Class A because it's just a completely different setup. The front of the RV is the engine and the driving and like literally the driver's seat and the passenger seat. So it's a completely different setup. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like not having a bedroom. I didn't like having our own space, especially alone time, all that. It was challenging.
All right. So another thing that we hate about the RV, about RV life is maintenance, repairs, all that stuff. But that's kind of goes hand in hand with anything, I think.
So what's different about the RV compared to a house is like, say, the roof on the RV. There's a membrane, a skinny membrane that goes along the whole roof. So it's not like big tiles and protection from the water and the rain. You have a very thin little membrane that goes along the wood.
A piece of rubber.
Piece of rubber that is covering wood, which is the roof of the RV. It's much easier for a very big damage to happen to an RV. And of course, there's only so much to it, you know? And so the fear factor with living in an RV is bad things can happen
Water
easily.
Damage.
Yes.
So we were under a big group of trees. A huge rainstorm comes. A tree branch rips off. I mean, not even that big. And it just fell down and put a little pinhole in the roof. And then Sandy luckily found it on like day 2.
Yeah,
so
I'm like, why does it look weird in that area? And it was the wood starting to like buckle up a little bit. And luckily we caught it before it was anything bad. But if we didn't go on the roof, we would never have known. And that would be a pretty big problem.
And let's say with our Class A, that was a drivable. It was a bus. And so when something did need maintenance on the engine, you have to do change of oil every so often. You need maintenance, right? So your home has to go into the shop. And then we would just be driving around all day going, what do we do today? Hopefully it's nothing big that they got to keep it for 2 weeks because then we got to go rent a hotel.
And we've had friends actually that happened to where the RV had to go into the shop. Now, if there's no availability, it just has to sit there. And now you're home, you're displaced for however long that may be, a month, a week, whatever. You have to now rent a place. And so that gets a little tricky. And so I was really excited when we went from the motorhome where the engine is in your home to the fifth wheel, because now there's no engine. No matter even if the truck broke down, we still have our home fully intact and it doesn't have to go anywhere. So that was one thing that really huge pro from going from a motorhome.
The worst thing that can happen on this is like an AC goes out or something.
Oh yeah, but you still have your home.
You're still here. So. Let's talk about connectivity and like Wi-Fi. And we have a digital lifestyle. We're digital nomads. We need internet 24/7.
That was huge struggle.
I'm gonna bang my head on the mic real quick. So let's just hear it.
Oh yeah, that was a huge struggle for a long time. I think until Starlink.
Oh my goodness! So all these RV parks are like, we've got Wi-Fi. Here's our Wi-Fi code. Go in there, and you have 100.
Snail mail is faster than their Wi-Fi.
You have 150 RVers that are on the same little Wi-Fi. It is horrendous.
Yeah.
So we would be uploading videos, and I'm like, this isn't working. It says it's gonna take 3 days, and so I always have to, in the middle of the night, drive up to a library,
and hope their Wi-Fi is still turned on.
Because all libraries have free Wi-Fi. So sit out in the parking lot. I did a couple times where I sat out in front of the door because that's the only place the Wi-Fi was like coming through, and uploaded video. So it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then we got Starlink, and it's great. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want, and so
if there's RVers or travelers out there that don't have Starlink and you are experiencing these challenges, I swear it was a game changer.
Well, a lot of people too have like these mega hack systems where like you tap into like McDonald's Wi-Fi from 3 miles away, and like you have a router and all that.
That's above our pay grade.
I'm like, bro,
I don't know how you did that, but more power to you.
And you got 14 wires hanging off the top of the RV. I'm like, not doing all that.
Yeah,
crap.
crazy satellites.
So Starlink, super easy. We even ran it over once. Let's rephrase that.
I ran it over.
Sandy ran it over in the big truck. It just smashed it, broke it all up.
Well, granted, it was a tropical storm happening, and the water was coming up, and I was trying to move the truck. Didn't even realize the Starlink was on the ground, and then I heard a crunch, and I look over and I go, "What was that?" And I saw Jimmy walking the dog, and the look on his face, he threw daggers at me, and I go, all of a sudden, the look on his face, I go, that was the Starlink, wasn't it?
so the Starlink's like $650. I'm like, oh man, God. I gotta drop another $650.
But I have to tell you, I told Starlink, I reached out to them, and I said, listen, I ran over by accident. What can I do? And they sent us a brand new one. Not only that, they sent us 2 by accident because we were at one RV park, I didn't realize they sent it. It was already in the mail. We moved to a different one. I gave them the new address and they sent it to both.
That's crazy.
I don't know how, but thank you, Starlink, because that really...
Customer service is
amazing.
50 out of 10 for sure. All right, what about, is it lonely out here sometimes? Is it like Justin Bieber? It's so lonely.
Yeah, so for many years, we were traveling, doing our own thing. And then you finally get to a point where you're like, man, we really don't have any friends. Like, we have friends. We know people everywhere, but no real friends. And same with the kids, right? Like, they'll play with kids in RV parks and whatnot. But I think we realized we were missing the element of community. Once we found like full-time families, which introduced us to so many families, we didn't realize how bad it was that we didn't have a community, because now that we have one, we're like, man, we went a long time. We're like, no real friends, you know?
Which brings us to something we have coming up this weekend, and we are going to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Roval 400, and we're meeting up with 10 other families there. We're doing an infield camping experience, and there's probably going to be 25 kids, 10 other couples, and we got a whole compound to put our RVs and just hang out and have a great time and just do 4 days of NASCAR fun. It is good Americana fun. Just good old fun. Nothing but, it's just a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So before the lack of community and loneliness gets to you, we're at an RV park now, and it's the off season down in Florida. So nobody's in Florida because it's hot. They think it's hot. It's not hot to us.
We like it.
So no families are down here right now. So we have to seek out experiences.
We have to be intentional about being with people. And I mean, only now, really, during the summer, because everybody leaves and they start traveling around the country, which is what this RV life's about. We've been doing it so long that we're good. Like, there's nowhere else west I want to go. There's nowhere northeast I want to go. So we're like, let's just hang here and enjoy Florida.
And build a course is what we're working on right now.
We have a big project we're working on. So we're like, let's just get that done, focus on it, get it behind us, and then probably start traveling international again and whatnot.
Sure.
But
so let's just hit on the course real quick. Anybody interested in becoming a full-time content creator or a part-time content creator or creating content and monetizing it, we're creating this course to share all of our knowledge and message and information and how we've made 7 figures over the past couple years off our social media
basically a blueprint to what we've done and all of our experiences wrapped into one course that can teach anybody, from whether you got nothing, you haven't even started, or you have channels and you're just not getting where you want to go. This is going to be amazing. So much knowledge in here. So
we just got done right before we filmed this. We just filmed a webinar for it. I'm going to edit that today and get it up and posted, so you can sign up for the webinar and just kind of see what we're all about and what we're doing. So, or send us a message, DM us, email.
We drank a lot of coffee beforehand, so it's going to be fast.
Yeah, I like it fast. I don't like things that take a long time. I think me and Sandy are discovering that we have ADHD, and because we've been looking at it on TikTok and Instagram, that's all we're getting now. So I'm like, oh my God, this is like me to the T. I hate when people talk slow. I hate when they don't get to the point, and that's one of the symptoms of ADHD. Yeah. So if you can relate to that, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and let us know, because we go fast, we go hard, and we have a lot of fun. And sometimes we do some dumb stuff.
I don't know about some. Maybe a good amount of times. All right, now let's talk probably about the last thing that we hate. I hate such a strong word, because I don't necessarily hate these things.
Challenges.
But it's part of it, right?
But I think hate gets people to click on the video, so that's why we said it.
All right. So I would say something that we literally just experienced is the weather is a huge factor in RV life. Now, why? Because if you have crazy storms coming, that the RV is only so strong and can only withstand so much. So if you have a hurricane coming your way, you probably want to leave town for a couple of days until it passes. And so we literally just did that.
What was it called? Hurricane what?
Helene,
that's what it was. So there was a mandatory evacuation for anybody in a mobile home or a manufactured home in this area. So we could not stay. Yeah. They're shutting off the water. They're like, get the hell out of town, because there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah, they just want to protect you. You don't know. So we headed to Fort Lauderdale. We figured let's go southeast, because the storm was coming up from the Gulf side, and it was coming hard. It was coming strong, and it looked like it was going to be horrible. Yeah, and so we figured let's go the opposite direction and just avoid the whole thing. And so that's what we did. It was great. There was hardly anything, just some wind down in Fort Lauderdale. when we came back 2 days later, we saw that the RV park that we were staying in actually didn't really have any damage at all. It wasn't too bad.
There's some branches.
However, the people along the coastline, it was an absolute devastation. We literally saw it firsthand a few days ago where we went to help one of our friends where her entire neighborhood was under 4 feet of water. Not just ocean water, but sewage water. And so, everything that comes with that.
Let me just paint the picture. We go up there to St. Pete to help our friend out. She's got to gut her whole house. This is the second time.
The whole neighborhood.
The second time in 13 months. So we're driving through the neighborhood, and as you get closer and closer to the water, I just got goosebumps talking about it right now. But as you get closer to the water, damn.
So literally, this is what it looked like. It looked like a war zone. Every house, pretty much every single house, has huge, like probably a 10-foot pile of everything that was in their house.
They own.
The drywall, the doors, the furniture, the beds, the clothes.
Washer, dryer, refrigerator.
All the appliances, everything. Like
baseboards.
Everything that you would move into a house to live was out in the front yard. Now, this was, I just got the hairs on my neck just stood up.
I'll cut in some footage here, too. I think that'll be good for
because
people to
that
see.
was, you don't see that on the news. You don't see any of this on the news. Like, I was surprised they don't show this on the news because that is, maybe they did it so people don't loot or try to like.
I don't know. It's just, the scope is just like, when does this end? It was just like block after block after block after block. I'm just like, where do you start?
I mean, you just can't help but cry because you're looking at these people and you could see the look on their faces as they're loading, like hauling stuff out of the house that is covered in sewage water. Really.
So we go over to our friend's house, Jamie from Styled and Sorted and Styled, and tell him about the GoFundMe that somebody just started today.
Yeah. So, what's really hard is 13 months ago, they just experienced the same thing, but there was 8 inches of water in their house and literally they had to gut it, right? Now, 13 months later, 4 feet of water was all throughout their house. And so whatever they could save or whatever they had to rebuild from the last time, they now had to get rid of again. And now we were helping her clear out the garage and there's like everything. Pictures, baby clothes, like
all your important
that is
papers.
Just devastating as a parent. Like
your
albums of pictures, like literally whatever you could think of had to get thrown out.
All those sorority and fraternity stuff from college, like, oh God. Just like,
and so, and Jamie had a smile on her face the whole time. I mean, while we were there, I know there's definitely hysterical moments and trying to keep a smile on your face because literally all of her neighbors were in the same boat. So they're all trying to help each other. People were driving by going, do you need ice? Do you need Gatorade? Do you need water? Well, just a short time that we were there for a few hours, there was multiple cars coming by that were offering and making sure everybody was okay.
That's just amazing to see the community come together and bond and help each other out.
It's like there's that saying, out of seemingly bad comes good. Now, obviously, this is horrible, but the community, the way they came together, and when someone was finished emptying their house, they would go to the neighbor, hey, let me help you. And so they're all helping each other. Oh, I mean, that more than anything was just the most heartwarming thing to see. She said people are bringing her gift cards, bringing her meals. She has 2 little kids. And so that's the one thing that I'm absolutely floored is to see that. Now, one of her friends created a GoFundMe page. And so we're going to be sharing that on also our social media. Because, you have insurance and all that, but it's never, ever going to cover what you had. It's never.
Insurance works.
And so, they have to rebuy every single thing. Now, I know that when we moved into this RV, we didn't want to take a lot of the stuff from the old RV. And so we rebought a lot of stuff. And this is just a small space, much less a house. And so if you're listening to this and the GoFundMe is up, if you want to give anything, this family would truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot of people that want to help but don't know how, and you don't know what foundations to trust, and is it really going to go to the people that are suffering? So this is one instance where it actually goes to the family and can help them get back on their feet.
So, to circle back around now, weather permitting, right? So what we learned, we went through a tropical storm Debbie, and it was 4 days of like torrential downpour and like 5 tornado warnings. And so that was our last, last
sitting through a storm.
Yeah, sitting through a storm. So we made a decision at that point. Sandy, Jimmy, you guys, if anything happens from this point forward, we will just hook up and drive away.
Because you can.
It's not worth it, In the storm going down to Fort Lauderdale, we could have waited it out here, but you never know.
Well, you know what a lot of people, perfect instance is like a lot of people in North Carolina. A lot of people didn't leave because they're like, it's going to be fine. Well, once it happens and you're in the middle of it, there's no option. No. You're done. Like you have to sit through it, or a lot of landslides went through people's homes, took the home out. Well, people were in it.
And then with us too, everybody's like, run north, don't run south. I'm like, well, if we run southeast, we're in the furthest point of Florida, and it's not going to touch that area.
It wasn't going in that area.
But if we would have ran north, we would have ran right into the heart of like the worst part of it. So, you just got to plan accordingly.
So I think, whether you live in a house or an RV, just picture, okay, say the storm is supposed to hit here, but it's not necessarily supposed to go right over us. Well, say the wind shifted and now it is, and you stayed, it's just too late. And I don't ever want to take that chance with our family, with our home. We'd rather just hook up, pull out, and come back when it's done.
We worked too hard to get to this point to start over. I can't imagine starting over and going through all that stuff. All right. So we went through some pros, some cons, some things we love, some things we hate. Let's give our final verdict onto what about this travel life? Before we do that, I want to do a little fun moment here to lighten the mood. A little Q&A, a little this or that for RV life.
Okay.
Are you ready? Hate or love RV life? All right. So this isn't necessarily a love and hate, but this is a little this or that. A little disrupt. We love disrupts in the middle of our videos to kind of reset the energy and get going again. All right, Sandy, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, this or that. Would you like a RV resort or remote camping?
RV resort. I like amenities.
Yeah. Do you like exploring local towns or sticking to nature spots?
I like local towns too. I like local towns. Nature spots too, but more like the town, I think.
50-50, I think. So, do you like bikinis or flannel pajamas?
Bikinis.
I know.
I just got to make sure I work out.
Do you like cooking in or eating out?
I'm not much of a chef over here, so eating out is probably more fun.
All right. Do you like hot weather or cold weather camping?
Hot. For sure.
Hot weather. Are you a planner or are you go with the flow kind of person?
Oh, all the way go with the flow. I wish I had planner in me, but I don't.
All right. Do you like big adventures or do you like quiet downtime?
Oh, big adventures for sure. Adventures.
Do you like documenting everything to share it with your audience or do you just like being in the moment?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think we like to document it, but then also not have that to be the entire time. Yeah. Like definitely live in the moment more and document a little bit.
All right, Sandy, do you like packing light or bringing everything just in case?
Bringing everything just in case. And I don't want to, but I cannot help myself.
We'll be sitting in the car and you're still loading stuff.
So annoying. I don't like that. But I'm like, but what if I need this? What if I need that? I need 20 outfit changes for a 2-day trip.
Yes. Do you like spontaneous detours or sticking to the route?
Oh, spontaneous detours.
Ooh, that's where some of the best stuff happens, right? Off the beaten path, down the trail.
We have ADHD, so it's really hard sticking to the route.
What's down there? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Southeast Asia. You want to go for a year? Sure, why not?
Yes.
All right, my turn. Kick it off to me.
Your turn, Jimmy.
Let's get it going.
All right. I know this answer. Driving the RV or being a passenger?
Oh, well, I love driving.
Jimmy is the worst backseat driver I have ever been in the car with.
I have control issues. I have problems leaving my life in somebody else's hands.
I seriously want to strangle him.
And the way I look at it, too, is I have 20,000 hours of experience.
What? I'm actually older than you, Jimmy, so I have more driving experience.
I'm talking about driving like the RV and the truck and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like flying a plane.
Well,
you want to give it to a rookie?
This doesn't talk about the RV. This is just driving in general.
I was talking about the RV.
And so, driving in general, I'll let him drive because I can't listen to his complaining.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, cross-country road trips or staying in one region?
Oh, that's a good one. It depends on the season that we're in. Right now, we're in a stay in one region kind of season, but cross-country road trips are fun, but it is exhausting, and it's a lot of work, and I don't know. It's just a lot.
All right.
Texas is like a day and a half.
Oh, Texas. I'm not a fan of Texas. Early morning drive or late night driving?
Ooh, late night driving is kind of hard, but we do it a lot because we always leave late, but I would rather do early morning driving.
Yeah. All right, cooking on a campfire or in the RV kitchen?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like using our little outdoor griddle here and there, but I don't know. I kind of just stick to the kitchen.
I would say we've used it 0.01%.
We use it 20 or 30 times.
Oh my gosh. It's funny because we'll see some families where they cook every single thing outside and I go, man that's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive. RV park with full hookups or boondocking in the wild?
Well, we are set up to boondock in the wild for unlimited amount of time with our Battleborn Victron setup, but I do like RV parks.
Yeah, amenities.
Yeah, amenities. I don't know.
All right. Instagram stories or YouTube vlogs?
Oh, that's a really good one.
Oh, I know who you are.
Instagram stories are so much easier and it's just a little blip into the day, but I definitely like vlogging on YouTube.
I know you like those long vlogs.
Yeah, it's a great story.
All right.
Is
Music
that all I got?
No. Music on the road or podcasts?
Ooh, let's see. I'm going to say podcast because I just like to get caught up on all the current events.
You are definitely a podcast guy. He's always got a AirPod in, and I'm like, can you pay attention over here, please? He's got
zoning out.
He's committed. All right, short trips with frequent stops or long haul road trips?
Oh, let's see. Long haul road trips are good because you just get there, but with our family, we do frequent stops.
I gotta go pee. Especially now with the fifth wheel, we're in a truck. In the Class A, we could go 15 hours.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a bathroom in the Class A, so there's no stops really.
And the cool thing about the Class A is I could leave at 4:30 in the morning and everybody's still sleeping, and they wake up at 9 and we already got 200 miles in. You know.
Yep.
Now it's like we can't get out before 10 because.
Everyone has to be literally physically up and ready for the day.
Fed and ready and slides in and everything wrapped up. And it's like, oh,
it's true.
Are we leaving at 10 o'clock again? So.
All right. Fixing something yourself or calling in help?
Oh, what do you think? I'm going to let you answer that one.
You are definitely calling in help. No, fixing it yourself.
I don't know. Like, it's great to have help, but at the same time, nobody can do it as good as you.
Luckily, Jimmy is super duper handy. Luckily, I love that because we can pretty much fix anything ourselves.
Yeah.
And if we can't,
then you
I don't even think we've really ever called for help.
Yeah, unless it's like out of my scope of work.
Yeah, unless it's like something.
Dropping trannies or redoing engines or something. I'm not doing that, but or putting in solar. I like the installers do that. But if it's just like maintenance or like repairs.
Yeah, easy stuff.
I'll do it for sure.
All right, last one. Exploring new places or revisiting favorites?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think everyone you went, ooh.
That might be my new thing now. I'm going to have to say exploring new places because it's the unexpected. It's new. Going back to old places. You already been there. There might be some things that you like about it. We went back to Hot Springs, Arkansas twice. And still, it was as much fun the second time as the first time. But yeah.
Sometimes when you revisit favorites, you're like, all right, I'm kind of done here. Yeah. Seen it, done it all. And yeah.
It wasn't as fun as the first time.
Yeah.
It's never as good as the first time.
Oh, well, that's it.
All right, let's get back to the pros and cons then of RV life, what we love and hate, right? So the last segment we're going to do is our final verdict. So we're going to share our overall thoughts on does the good outweigh the bad, or is the bad enough to hang it all up?
I know my answer. Do you have your answer?
Yeah, just go with yours. I'll feed off of you.
All right, so my answer is absolutely RV life all the way. Not necessarily just RV life, travel life. Whether it's traveling international, bouncing around different countries, or in the RV, I love the constant state of travel and seeing and doing new things and experiencing new adventures.
Yeah.
Sitting in a house to me, well, it's funny because we rented a house. Our RV was in the last RV show here in Tampa. So the RV was in there. So we were without our RV for like 2 weeks. So we had to go to an Airbnb. We had a 4-bedroom Airbnb. Each kid had their own room again. So I love testing out the whole,
great
are
neighborhood,
they missing anything?
Swimming pool.
I realized that every day when we drove back to the house, I was like, I could not imagine living here. And I can't imagine that this was our life. Yeah. I could not imagine.
Forever.
And so I know 1,000,000% is that I just love moving around. So we're in an RV park right now. We've been here for about 2 months. We're leaving in a few days and it's on to somewhere else. And so
Charlotte,
for me,
North Carolina.
that's the exciting part.
Yeah, for
sure. I think when we sit somewhere too long, it starts to wear on us and we're like, I've been here too long. We got to go. If there's spider webs sort of building up around and things are getting too comfortable and dust is settling, I think that's a sign that we need to go.
Yeah.
And we need to break the crust.
I think when you have too many things outside the RV too, it's like we've been here way too long.
You're getting too comfortable.
Yeah. And so that's my verdict also. I think living the RV life, there are some struggles. There are ups and downs. Travel days take time out of your regularly scheduled programming. But you know what?
That was one thing that we could have said, like, hate part is like travel days because right now we have the e-bikes and all the stuff. And so that's kind of...
Loading up the RV takes about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours.
That's a little annoying, And
then you get somewhere and you got to unload, 2-3 hours and set everything back up.
And if it's raining out, you know.
Or if you're just moving like an hour away. You're like,
there's little challenges like that. But overall, it still definitely outweighs the sedentary life for us.
Yeah.
And I know there's people that live in a house and can never imagine doing this kind of life because it is way different. But I think with our personalities and the way, and even the kids, I don't think the kids could ever imagine living in a house. We've talked to them all the time about it. Yeah, they love it. And I'm so curious to see what the kids do and when they become adults and live their own life. I guarantee they will be traveling and they will be, they won't want to just sit still. I'm going to put my money on it.
All right, so my final verdict is RV life all the way. I don't really see us settling down either. Even once the kids grow up and move out, you know, like I often envision like we're going to be just out here doing this by ourselves, which is cool too. Like that's what a lot of people do, a lot of empty nesters. So RV life all the way for me. So 2 recaps. We're launching a course, so you can sign up for that to be notified or watch the webinar on what the course is all about. And the second thing is we have some friends in dire need, and we have a GoFundMe account and our links on our social media, so you can check that out too. We really want to hear from you guys. And if you've been in RV life, what do you love or hate? Or even sedentary life, sticks and bricks. What do you guys love and hate about your life?
Please,
in the house?
I want to hear the love and hates. And also maybe what you love and hate about living in a house. And if you could live in an RV. So put it in the comments, because I love that all these podcasts we've done so far, we've had so many
amazing
awesome comments. And I feel like our community is getting tighter with these podcasts because of that. So we love to hear from you. We want to hear all about your experience as well. And also, if you are living in a house and you want to live in an RV, do any of these love and hates sway you from wanting to do it more or not wanting to even try? So let us hear it.
Yeah, and just to talk about the comments for a minute, or even the podcast, we're getting so much feedback from people we haven't heard from in a long time. Oh, dude, I listened to all your episodes. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from you in like 5 years. Holy crap.
I'm loving your podcast. And I'm like, you listen to it?
and even some people walking by the RV park, oh, I love the podcast about this. I loved when you guys got vulnerable and said, you know, about your childhood a couple episodes ago, because I went through some of the same things. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, man, we're all here, guys. We're all connected. We're all going through it. Yeah. We all have highs and lows, and we all just living life, man, and trying to make the best of it. So,
and I think when you get vulnerable and you share those things, because everyone sees maybe a certain image of us when in our videos, where we're always positive and we're always this, and we are, and that's how we look at life. But you know, we did have many experiences that shaped us to who we are today, and some of them not so good, some of them good. But we love to share that, because I feel like if we get vulnerable, it just lets you see who we really are. And we're not just this happy-go-lucky couple that just has everything amazing going on in life. It's like, no, that's not the story. But I feel like all of those, you know, not so great experiences also shaped me to who the person I am today, and why I love helping people and I love being a part of, and I'm very empathetic because of a lot of things I went through. And so I think that's very important to share those things, to connect with you guys that maybe have been through the same.
All right. So if you guys are interested in the next episode, we're going to be talking about living your dream, not necessarily the American dream, and kind of bucking the societal norms that put us all in a place that we maybe are and don't want to be at.
We definitely kicked the American dream in the face when we realized we thought we achieved those things and we were not happy. Yeah. You know, we were not very satisfied, and we thought, but we have this and we have this, and that's the American dream. And then you realize, wait a minute, that's not for everybody. And it's pretty old school. It's an old school American dream, I think. The way the world has evolved and things are so different from when like we were kids, what we thought was the American dream back then is so different now.
You're giving away too much of the episode.
So different now.
Let's save it. And if you guys want to see any of the previous episodes, the last one we interviewed the kids and got their take on this travel lifestyle.
That was really good.
That was really fun. They loved it. They were begging us to be in it the whole time.
I know. They're like, when are we going to be on the podcast?
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys have a great week, weekend, weekday, whatever day it is. I hope you guys are just rocking out and having a good time.
And remember, whatever you do, get out there and
try something new.